Dark Souls is filled with adventure, but along the way, especially when you are first starting out, you learn a lot as you go. So today we will be discussing the unwritten rules of Dark Souls. Please let me know if I missed any in the comments, and let me know your favorite rules below, and let's get straight into it. The first unwritten rule of this video is going to be picking up items. It's so simple, but when you play a Souls game, you always pick up the items. It doesn't matter if you know what they are, you just pick them up. I'm not sure why, but the thrill of picking up items is simply too good. Aside from mimics, of course. Also, to add on to this, hit chest if you're not sure whether it's a mimic or not, just to be safe. But whenever you see an item or chest that you are not sure how to get, immediately the greed they talk about in the Bible overcomes you, and suddenly that item is all you want. It's the simple thrill of gambling, at least for me it is. Especially as a newer player, the item could either be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my inventory, or the single most useless item in the entire game. Yet seeing that item, something about it just calls to you, and suddenly that is the only thing your small dopamine-fueled mind can think about. Moving on though, bonfire equals safe. As Souls players, we all know bonfires are the safe havens of the hell we endure. So whenever you see one, you always light it. I can't tell you how many times in DS3 I've said, I hope there's a bonfire here, just around a corner looking at one. Instantly, all my worries disappear with the bonfire's mere presence. Yes, in Elden Ring it's called Grace. I know. It does the exact same thing, but bonfire sounds more cozy. I will say though, sometimes there are exceptions to this. For example, in my tail only run of Dark Souls 1, which you can watch up here, I ran down to Ash Lake before I had the Lord Vessel to teleport. So instead of going through the pain and torture of climbing all the way back up, which would have definitely made me give up on the run, I decided to descend all the way down and not touch a single bonfire. Even here, you see the hesitation as I neglect a free bonfire. So in certain situations, sure, don't do it. But generally, always get a bonfire when you need to be somewhere. Bonus here, if you see a sign on the floor, you also kind of gotta read the message. This could lead to many great discoveries, like an illusionary wall. So very commonly in Souls games, you will see a person just sitting or standing there, not even attacking you, just there. Of course, this is an NPC, so what should you do when you see this? That's right, you spam the talk button over and over until you notice them saying the same thing. Why do you stop then? Well, because once they start saying the same thing, that's how you know that's all you needed from them. Be careful with this though, sometimes NPCs hit you with a yes or no question. Oftentimes you hit no and that is not the right answer and it sets you back a little bit. Also, I did not know until watching a video, but a lot of NPCs give you a little bit of direction. The Fallen Crest Warrior in Dark Souls 1 and Firelink will actually tell you to ring the bells starting at the gargoyles. Real quick before we go on, this video is sponsored by me. As you know, I'm trying to become that one cool small Souls YouTuber that you watch, so it would really mean a lot if you guys could use the hype button on YouTube down below. I think this is only a thing on mobile right now, but it really does go a long way and I truly appreciate it. Also, subscribe if you enjoy. It's the best way to support me and lets me know to make more like this. Thank you, and back to it. This next rule is something you learn. A lot of these other rules are almost self-explanatory and a noob could figure them out, but it will take you a while to figure out how to properly greed. If you try to get an extra hit in, more often than not, it will be the death of you. The exception to this is when a boss is nearly one hit away from death and you are certain of it. Let's take someone like Artorias who hits like a forklift. If you greed against him, you will lose health. However, if you greed against him as he is one shot from death, it is super worth it and you will then kill him. Like I said, as Souls players, this is something that is learned through an experience that pained you like no other. I actually wonder how many times someone has tried to greed Millennia on low health and has died because of it. If you're not positive that that hit will kill the boss, let alone connect, don't even think about it. Learning this and actually being patient with my gameplay still saves me to this day as I explore more builds and new fights, and I'm sure it can do the same for you. When leveling in Dark Souls, commonly you will put levels into your build. Of course, that's how it kind of works. But once you hit that dexterity or strength soft cap, what do? Well, I'm sure you've heard a level into vitality or endurance is never a level wasted. And that is the rule for this, because it's true. Health and endurance are always going to be necessary in any build or run, unless you're doing a challenge run, of course, but they always make a noticeable difference. As for a bonus tip, if you would like to waste an entire level, either level the exact opposite of your build or just level up resistance. Next up, when running through a new area, and you go up or down an elevator, send it back the way you came, please. Why do this? Because you will likely die. You noob. Seriously though, it just saves some extra times, and in some games, it prevents you from having to kill enemies as you can just then run past them. On top of this, even if you are not in need of a door or something to be opened, if you know you'll be needing it later, just do it. Always save yourself the trouble. Back to the elevator though, just be careful and remember if you did send it up or down, otherwise this might happen to you. So this rule is very personal and dear to me, but never under any circumstance tab out of your game or put your controller down next to NPCs. Mainly my boy Andre. Don't do it though. Take the 5 seconds and walk away. This is a precaution, not to you, but to your beloved NPCs. It's so that you don't hit the blacksmith and aggro him. I've never been more scared in any of my Souls experience than when I accidentally hit Andre while picking up my controller again. Thank the Lord he did not aggro. This often won't aggro him off one hit, but it just makes you sad knowing you abused your favorite NPC. Along with this, just don't kill the NPCs. NPCs like Solaire, #praise the sun, are just awesome, and why would you ever abuse them? The only exceptions to this rule are NPCs like Lautrec who give you an item you want. Alright, so this kind of goes back to the elevator rule, but in your first playthrough, always kill the enemies and explore new areas a little bit. This just builds some familiarity in your future runs, and as you learn the map and route, it's just good to know where you are. Within the routes, once you know what you're doing, you have two choices then. You can kill every enemy and take your time, or sprint past everything and every one praying you don't get hit. So I don't really like PvP in Souls, but I figure I might as well throw one in here at least. Just respect the emotes, guys. If someone is clearly emoting, respect it and let it finish. As well as this, always emote before you battle. It's a little salute to each other. Don't be that guy. Play by the unwritten, now written rules. And with that being said, I will still not be PvPing anytime soon. There are plenty of embarrassing things in Dark Souls. Rolling off a cliff, dying to a random enemy you thought was dead, but nothing is worse than dying to Pinwheel. This is a boss you do not say you died to. Whatever the easiest boss is in the game, you do not die to him. I can confidently say I have never died to Pinwheel. And yes, I would admit if I have. Pinwheel is the pinnacle of Dark Souls easy bosses, especially with him being such a later game boss. He has 1900 HP, and yes, this sounds like a lot, but he dies in 4 hits using any strength weapon. Therefore, you saying you died to him just makes you seem like a noob. I also can't say I've seen a video where anyone has died to Pinwheel, so let me know in the comments. So a few things to go into this. 1, use the souls in your inventory and level up. 2, when you die and your souls fall on the ground, typically our first instinct is to panic. This is especially true if it's more than 10,000 souls or is an amount we need for an upgrade or weapon we want. But please do not panic and sprint back to it. This is because oftentimes you will end up dying doing this and lose them all. What some people still don't realize is you can straight up quit the game, not play for a whole week, and your souls will still be in the same spot you died at. As long as you don't die again, they stay there forever. You can even rest at bonfires and fast travel around. So just calm down and get those souls when you can. There's no reason to rush and potentially jank up your run even more. This took me a while to do, but when you were starting out, learn the proper mechanics. What I mean by this is learn how to parry, backstab, and especially learn your iframe timings. When I first started out, I was just awful at parrying. I kid you not, my first ever Dark Souls playthrough, I died to Gwyn 28 times because I couldn't parry. Imagine that run back 28 times. Please do not make the same mistake I did. Learn. Then we get to iframes, your invincibility frames. I'm not sure why I included that. I kind of just recently learned what the I stood for, and I just thought invincibility sounded cool. Anyway, you go from a game like Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2, you can very much feel the difference of how iframes and dodging works. So it's always worth it to get a feel for it to really just prepare you for your journey, especially as a newer player. And lastly, in Dark Souls, there are many bosses that are quite difficult. The Fume Knight, Nameless King, Manus, but the most difficult boss is your own stupidity. Well, that or gravity, whichever you prefer. I kind of just grouped the two together though. You think I'm joking though, but I swear I've died more to my own stupid random decisions than any other playthrough. It happens to all all of us, especially gravity, but man, it is a humbling experience. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you did, and thank you so much for watching. Again, if you could use some hype on this video, I'd really appreciate it, as it helps grow our community. If you do want to see live Souls gameplay, I stream right here on YouTube and occasionally at twitch.tv/midworth. Thank you guys again. Please let me know what videos you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.